In 1994, audiences packed theaters to see Stargate, a science fiction blockbuster starring Kurt Russell that imagined giant, ancient portals allowing teams to instantly travel across the universe. The movie was a massive hit, spawning television spin-offs like Stargate SG-1 that envisioned these portals housed deep inside top-secret U.S. military bases. But right as that fictional franchise was taking off, the U.S. intelligence community was quietly closing the books on a real, highly classified program sharing the exact same name, the Stargate Project. While Hollywood spent billions imagining a physical ring that could transport teams across the galaxy, the CIA spent 2 decades and millions of dollars trying to build a portal out of human consciousness to spy on the globe. To understand how this happened, you have to look at the geopolitical reality of the 1970s. During the Cold War, physical borders were locked tight. Information was the ultimate, completely inaccessible currency. Paranoia peaked when a U.S. Army report detailed heavy, state-sponsored investments by the Soviet Union and China into a field known as psychoenergetics. Psychoenergetics is essentially the rigorous, structured study of parapsychology, phenomena like extrasensory perception, or ESP, telepathy, and psychokinesis. For the Pentagon, this presented an absolute nightmare scenario. If Soviet operatives could locate and spy on deeply buried U.S. nuclear silos using nothing but their minds, the United States had absolutely no defense against it. Faced with an invisible threat they couldn't block or counter, the intelligence community felt they had no choice. To maintain strategic parity, they were forced to suspend disbelief and attempt to scientifically weaponize the paranormal. By 1977, the CIA and the Defense Intelligence Agency bypassed traditional fortune tellers, choosing instead to recruit gifted subjects into a highly structured bureaucratic environment. The primary focus of this research was a practice called remote viewing. This is the process of seeking detailed impressions of a distant, unseen target using extrasensory perception. These efforts quickly coalesced into Project Grill Flame, an initiative designed to push remote viewing out of laboratories and into active operational intelligence gathering. The program secured a stunning early success. Using only remote viewing, subjects accurately mapped out a highly classified Soviet research and development facility located in Semipalatinsk. They followed that up with another major win in 1979, successfully locating the site of a crashed aircraft to within a 15-mile radius of its actual location. These specific, documentable hits convinced military leadership that psychoenergetics was a viable intelligence tool. It was incredibly inexpensive, required almost no equipment, and most importantly, it was completely passive. No one could detect a spy who was only there in spirit. In the 1980s, the program evolved into Project Sunstreak. Operations were physically relocated to the military base at Fort Meade in Maryland, placing them right alongside the headquarters of the National Security Agency. The actual mechanics of the program were deeply surreal. Viewers entered deep meditational trances, attempting to visualize remote foreign military targets they had never seen. Yet Sunstreak applied a rigid structure to the process. It divided remote viewing into 7 distinct operational categories. Viewers were specifically tasked with penetrating inaccessible targets, or determining whether a facility was housing nuclear or non-nuclear weapons. It was the ultimate paradox. The government took an inherently unexplainable human ability and subjected it to theoretical lectures, systematic methodology, and a mountain of bureaucratic paperwork. By 1995, the CIA needed to make a final decision on the program's future. They contracted the American Institute for Research to formally evaluate the Stargate Project. Statistical analysis found laboratory settings did demonstrate a significant effect. Psychics were accurate 15% of the time, beating random guessing. But that anomaly came with a fatal caveat. The data was incredibly vague, completely failing to hold up in real-world applications. A military commander cannot order a missile strike or deploy boots on the ground based solely on a psychic's hazy 15% probability of being right. Without the guarantee of actionable intelligence, the CIA concluded the experiment. The real Stargate Project was officially terminated before the end of that year. The Stargate Project stands as a testament to the lengths a superpower will go to find a strategic edge. pushing the boundaries of conventional science to the limit in pursuit of an advantage. If the U.S. government was willing to rigorously map the uncharted realms of human consciousness 50 years ago, you have to ask, what invisible frontiers are they exploring today?